Okay, it is 9:03 now. We will go ahead and get started. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is the January 28th Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting. I am Commissioner Sean Flowerday and Chair of the Board. On my left is Vice Chair and Commissioner Rick Vest and Commissioner Deb Shore. On my right is Commissioner Roma Amundsen and Commissioner Krista Yoakum. Mr. Clerk, would you please go ahead and get started?
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of our written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk staff at the front of the hearing room. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item 1 are minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, January 21st, 2020.
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundsen,
Yes.
Yoakum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 2 are claims. 2A is a claim for review for County Engineer Pam Dingman in the amount of $550.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. As we spoke about in the staff meeting 2 weeks ago, this claim for $550 was actually originally a receipt for 22 of our people while out at training for $653.04. The county has been reimbursed for the total receipt of $653.04. However, per previous practice, I have asked for the amount of the per diem of the 22 employees that attended the dinner, which would be a total of $550. The receipt was actually submitted past the 90-day because we had a clerical error which lost the receipt. And then, I don't know if the board is aware, we haven't actually had a account clerk 2 in the office since 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, so we've been trying to make do for that employee to come back from leave. In March of 2018, or May of 2018, a similar claim was filed for $440, which again was the per diem, not based on the receipt, even though the county was reimbursed off of the total receipt. In June of 2017, there was another claim for $440. Both of these claims were approved for payment by the board. Again, I was reimbursed off of per diem, not off of the entire receipt. The county was reimbursed for the entire receipt. In June of 2016, for whatever reason, the board made the decision to reimburse off the receipt off receipts for meals for the entire event, which totaled $1,050.06 and paid directly off the receipt. Again, we were reimbursed for the total receipt by Nebraska Department of Transportation. What I'd really like to state here is there was a number of things said in the staff meeting, and I think it's important that we acknowledge as government that we do need to try to be efficient. I think it's also important to note that the commissioners may not be the end users of some of the processes that are put into place. And I think that there is the constant request for us to collaborate together. I will assure you that I meant no disrespect to anyone on the board or to any processes when this expense was incurred, but was just following previous practice. That being said, my history as an engineer, and there's been a lot of buzzwords for it over the years: total quality management, process improvement, Six Sigma black belt is a new one, which I think is just totally ambiguous, but I guess we're not going to change the name of it. That being said, what all of these systems say is that we look at the process. And if there's something in the process that can be improved, we should bring it to the attention of the people who are in charge of the process. That's what I've done here for 5 years. I still think that we need some other system, some way to reimburse for this that is actually on the expenses that we're receiving back. So was I to follow the process that the board, the process for this that was previously implemented, it would have meant 22 per diem checks and me collecting 22 receipts and filling out 22 claim forms to Nebraska Department of Transportation, and then being reimbursed the total receipt, in which case we would have actually made money off of our employees. And I guess to some extent, although I'm an elected official, I still am an employee, and the county has made money off of me by the way that the system has been set up. So once again, I would like to ask, firstly, to be reimbursed for the $550, and secondly, that we come up with some system that there is, if there is grant training that reimburse off the receipt, that we reimburse off the receipt, or that perhaps a P card could be used to purchase food. Thank you.
Okay, well, I tell you what, excuse me.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, Commissioner Engineer, we have talked about this, and, you know, I've been in the meetings when we have discussed how this how all of this has occurred, and I know that it has been we have done this for the last 5 years. There has been some discussion, and actually, we do have a policy in place right now, and we are asking all employees to observe that policy, elected officials to observe that policy, and directors. Now, this is what, there are several issues with this particular one, and they do reflect what has happened in the past, but I guess that, you know, just in conversing with you, I'm willing to go forward to move that we do pay for this receipt with a commitment from you that until we make any further changes in that policy that may impact how you do this, that you will observe the policy.
We will reserve the policy coming from this point forward. However, if I am put in a situation where we do issue 22 or 25 checks where we could have issued one, I will come to this meeting under open meetings, and I will again state my request that we look at our overall procedure in order to make it more efficient.
And that, Pam, is one of the things that we will commit to you. We will look at the entire process, and we will see that how it can be worked. As long as it meets with the IRS regulations and with the state and the federal and so forth and so on, we'll see if we can come up with a policy. But as of right now, we're asking you to observe the policy. Otherwise, the board is violating its own policy.
And again, I would like to state that as I did this policy, it was as I went through and previously talked to previous chairs and previous members of the board. You know, 2 of you have voted to reimburse this claim at least 4 other times. And so with that, I will say again, it wasn't the intent to violate a policy. The intent was to find a way to do what we needed to do.
And we will work with you on that. But so you will observe the policy from this point forward until changes may be made?
And I will still come to open meetings and state when I have a concern with the policy.
Yes, but it is an
I have agreed to
affirmative.
follow the policy, Commissioner Amundson.
Okay. All right, I will move that we approve this claim for $550 for, to reimburse County Engineer Pam Dingman with the understanding that she will observe the policy from this point forward.
I will second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to commend Engineer Dingman for her drive for efficiency. I appreciate her efforts to run the most efficient department possible. Very admirable, and we appreciate that. But I think we all understand where we're at this point in time on this particular issue. So thank you.
We could, because it appears to be a problem that has occurred previously and most likely will occur again. So I think we only have maybe 3 or 4 months before this training comes around again. So we need to get a plan in place, whether it's approval to use P cards for a large food purchase or some other mechanism if we're being reimbursed from grant funds. But we need to have that policy. And I don't know if we need to discuss it further on a Thursday or assign a task force of people that could be impacted by this change to bring forth some recommendations.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I agree.
I'm seeing a no on the task force.
I mean, that's the wrong word.
A working group, a working
Yeah,
group.
of our employee experts, yes.
Employee experts.
Kevin?
To be clear, we're not going to make a task
Okay.
force.
Yeah, that's,
Ann Ames and Dennis Meyer and myself have had some conversations regarding this. We hope to have some wording here in the next couple of weeks to discuss at a staff meeting. So I don't know if a task force would be something we
It was-
necessarily need to look at in this issue.
We're literally talking about you three. That's all we mean. That's all we're talking about.
I was saying, I was using the word
Understand this.
facetiously.
No additional pay comes with this new designation, just warning you.
Task force meetings will be on Wednesday at 7:30, so yeah. Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 2B is approval of all claims processed through January 28th, 2020.
Move approval?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 3 are consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner or by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there is an exception, these items will be approved as one with a single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items are approval of amendments to the following contracts. C-18-66 with Jim Peterson Auction Company for annual services, unclaimed property auction services. C-17-220 with 3M Company for annual supply, reflective sign sheeting. C-19-46 with Purple Wave Inc. for annual service auction services. Change order number 1 to county contract C-19-509 with Pavers Inc. for trench widening, plan discrepancy, edge repair, and crown correction for a net increase of $240,219.16. Change order number 3 to county contract C-19-559 with Van Kirk Brothers Contracting for change in earthwork due to plan revision and change in sheet piling due to plan discrepancy for a net increase of $28,782. Utility permits with no cost to the county for the following. Number 1919, allowing Black Hills Nebraska Gas Utility Company, LLC, to install steel encased underground gas pipeline from Highway 77 east to South 14th Street and continuing northerly along South 14th Street for approximately 2,000 linear feet. Number 1926, allowing Nebraska Link to install underground fiber optic cable under South 40th Street right-of-way from approximately Rokeby Road to approximately Yankee Hill Road. Number 1886, allowing the City of Lincoln to install a new water main in the north right-of-way of Old Cheney Road from Hunts Drive to South Folsom Street. Number 1925, allowing Black Hills Nebraska Gas Utility Company, LLC, to install a new underground gas line within the southerly right-of-way of the southerly right-of-way line of West Rokeby Road from Highway 77 west for approximately 525 linear feet. Number 1918, allowing Phillips 66 Pipeline, LLC, to relocate existing gas pipeline under Saltillo Road and South 14th Street. Received and placed on file the county attorney's quarterly report for October 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019.
Move approval of the consent items? Oh,
I would like to request that consent item D1 be removed and heard individually.
Okay.
I move that item D1 be removed so that it can be considered individually.
I'll second that.
Do we even need that?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
So all right. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay.
I will move approval of the remaining consent items.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second on the approval of the remaining consent items. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. Now, can we return to item D1,
D1 permit, county permit 1919, allowing Black Hills Nebraska Gas Utility Company to install a steel encased underground gas pipeline from Highway 77 east to South 14th Street, will require the closing of Saltillo for a number of days. This is a South Beltway relocation, and so I felt it was important this morning to pull this one off and go ahead and hear it individually, because I wanted the board to be aware that, this is the first of the closing of roads that we'll see down in the south end of the county for the South Beltway. There's going to be a number of them. They are all going to be inconvenient. However, when we do have them, we just want people to be aware.
Commissioner Amundson?
Do you know how long the closure will be? You said for a number of days?
I believe it's 5 days.
5 days? Okay. Just so the public knows.
We will again put it on our website. We push this data out to Waze, the traffic app. And in addition to that, the shared city-county website does all street closures. And if you're ever interested in a street closure, you can hover your mouse over the Google map and it will kick out when the road will open again. It's very handy.
That's a nice idea. Yeah.
Is there a chance we could use the lighted signs that the city has to?
So we don't have any.
Right, we don't, but they
like-
do.
And I think lighted signs maybe isn't the correct
No,
terminology, and I
guess
apologize for stumbling on that. They can be rented, however, we would look to Black Hills to do that, and I'll
Okay.
have to check some of the details for the
Okay.
coordination. Again, because where we're trying to get with these utility permits is they're no cost to the county.
Right.
I will tell you that we do hope this year in our budget to be able to buy some of our own signs, because we rent them all the time, and it's costly, and it has a lot of issues, especially when they're out of signs like last year. So
Right.
it is a need. So,
Could share our strong suggestion with them, that would be, because how many cars a day on Sotillo?
about 11,000.
Yeah, so we're going to put 11,000 cars, I don't know.
And
Pine
again,
Lake.
this is going to be a continuous issue for the southern part
No,
Yeah.
I know.
of Lincoln and the southern part of Lancaster County for the next 3 years.
Saying
And then after
progress
that,
comes
the
at a
eastern
price.
half.
They'll just use 148th Street.
Right.
Goodness. Thank you,
Thank
Pam,
you.
for updating.
Thanks.
And we need a motion to approve
We do. Item D1.
D1. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next is number 4, unfinished business. 4A is a request to withdraw county text amendment number 19009. Text amendment to the Lancaster County zoning resolution, section 13-014, to add conditions for campgrounds, and section 16-003 for signs.
I would move that we request that we do withdraw the text amendment number 19009.
Second.
I have asked, I'm sorry.
We have a motion and a second. Here's the discussion.
Yeah, I have asked Steve to come give us his input on this motion, just so we understand how this impacts our planning department.
Sure. Thank you. Steve Hendrickson with the Lincoln Lancaster County Planning Department. We are also in support of withdrawal of the text amendment. I think since the special permit has been withdrawn, the site is no longer under consideration. A lot of that pressure is off in terms of the very particular site. We gained certainly a lot of information, both in talking with the applicant and also a lot of the public input in terms of concerns of the citizens about this. So we don't have a problem addressing this text amendment again at some point in the future, given all the information we have found. I would also note, I think, too, that this is a good opportunity to look at it in the future. We have our comprehensive plan update coming up. It's already underway. We have a public event coming up next February 5th. And so it's really a chance for us to look as a county as a whole as to what we see as the vision for the county in the future. So we support the withdrawal of the text amendment.
I do have a question, Steve. You were addressing, I believe, the 2050 comprehensive plan and the process we're going through to identify what we want that to look at. Talk a little bit more about the public meeting that's going to be held, and if you would, the survey that's available for folks who want to have input.
Sure. Thanks. That gives us a chance to quick promote that. It's actually Thursday, February 6th, from 5 to 7 p.m. It's actually at Pinnacle Bank Arena. It's a chance for people to use the premium VIP parking that's adjacent next door for free. It starts with a presentation at 5:30. Just basically gives some overall information. We'll talk about the county's population projection for the year 2050. And then on our website, or we have set up a website called planforward2050.com, planforward2050.com. We have a survey there that would help assist us in what is really the view of the citizens in terms of what our vision for the future should be for both the city of Lincoln and for Lancaster County.
There will be some 2050 forward promotional videos that I'm sure no one will want.
Yes, some great promotional videos coming
Oh, I'm in all
forward.
of them.
The ratings will skyrocket.
That's right.
Better than this.
If you've ever wanted to see me sing Carly Simon.
Thought about that a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Okay.
So it's 20, let's reiterate that.
Yeah,
It's 2050.
actually have it here. It's planforward2050.com. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
And
just down
that's
here at
where-
the bottom.
and that's where the public can fill out the
planforward2050.com.
survey.
Yes.
Great.
As well as get other information, particularly as we're going forward. We have a community group assisting us with this effort. And so that'll allow people to monitor all the information, and we'll probably have other chances for people to give us their input as well.
And we can use premier parking, so.
That's right.
That's that. All
Okay.
right. Steve, thank you so much for your
You
time.
bet.
Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4B is setting a voting session on Tuesday, February 25th, 2020 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building for text amendment number 19009 to amend the Lancaster County zoning regulations by adding conditions to Article 13-014 for campgrounds and amending Article 16-003 for signs.
I think we don't need this right now that we,
No, correct. This was just related in case you didn't withdraw the text amendment.
right,
Okay.
so
So we can just,
we can just move on to new business.
okay, thank you.
Can I make a public comment or is that?
Sure.
I just, while we're here in the room, we have some folks who've invested their time here. And I just wanted to address some comments to Mr. and Mrs. Queen. First of all, personal note, thank you so much for the card. My wife opened it. I brought the mail in, not paying attention. My wife opened it, says, "These must have been some friends of my mom's." And I said, "Oh, who is it?" It was Mr. and Mrs. Queen. So thank you for that very thoughtful gesture. We do want you to be successful. Whatever the controversy was about, whatever the points of disagreement, I don't think we want to forget your service to our community these last 25 years and your vision of having a campgrounds within our community. We I think, have educated ourselves about the issues with going too far out into the county, and we're aware of the controversies that creates. But we're deeply grateful for all that you've done, and we want you to be successful in the future in a way that will work for the betterment of our community and for your own success. So thank you all for what you're attempting to do. Okay, thank you, Commissioner.
Great.
Next is new business. 5A is a contract with Matheson Trigas for annual service providing and delivery of industrial and medical gas. The contract is for 1 year with the option to renew for 3 additional 1-year terms. The cost of the county is not to exceed $5,700.
Move approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 6 is public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Krista, that was approved when we did consent. It's all part of,
I
it was
wasn't
part of the
sure if it
remaining
was-
consent agenda. So, yeah.
Hello, my name's Karen Kerpis. We've been up here before, 17500 North 84th Street. I know that there's been a lot of effort put into the discussion on the text amendment that was just withdrawn. You know, this is going to keep coming up. And we've talked at length about the need to go ahead and get something on the books and not wait for someone to come up with a special amendment or a special permit. This has to be heartbreaking for the Queens to have come this far and have to deal with all this. And it's been a lot on everybody involved. But, you know, I hope they come forward with something else, but I hope they don't have to deal with the text amendment at the same time, that the rules are laid out. We know what's going to happen. It's only fair for everybody involved that we continue on and not just put this off into the future to come up again like a CAFO issue, like a soil mining issue, whatever. It needs to go forward. We did go ahead and add some additional comments. You know, we really hope that this discussion doesn't go away, that we go, you know, keep working face to face, whatever it takes with the planning. You know, if it needs to be a working group, whatever. But, you know, we have other issues. I mean, we feel real strongly about the occupation part of it. You know, what was suggested for the Queens to have to do on the occupation was a bookkeeping nightmare when you took at how many percent stay 30, how many stay 120, how many stay 180, and I think that needs to be simplified into a couple of sectors and not make it impossible for them or for the county oversight to figure out what's really going on. You know, I just say we have some additional information here. Dwight Hansen reviewed what was discussed, our engineer, hydrology person, and he had some suggestions. What I'm going to do is just turn over. We got together last night and kind of looked back through the text amendment as it was you know, winding up at the last meeting. We would like to, you know, forward this for consideration and keep going. We realize that it's a comprehensive plan that we need, and we also acknowledge that there are extenuating circumstances with any permit that allow you to write waivers that would allow something that is not in perhaps a strict comprehensive zoning ordinance. Any questions? No. Okay.
Any other members of the public wishing to come forward? Okay.
Next is number 7, announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, January 30th, 2020, at 8:30 a.m. in the Luxford Studio at the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its next regular meeting on Tuesday, February 4th, 2020, at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building, with the Board of Equalization immediately following. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold public hearings on Tuesday, February 4th, 2020, at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building on the following: street name change 19002, renaming a portion of Nebraska Highway 2 to Nebraska Parkway between Calvert Street and South 120th Street, Lincoln, Lancaster County, Nebraska, generally located on the existing Nebraska Highway 2 within the city limits of Lincoln, and the unincorporated area of Lancaster County, and naming a proposed future connection as Jamaica Avenue from South Beltway to South 27th Street. Both street name changes become effective upon opening of the South Beltway. County Text Amendment number 19010, related to animal feeding operations, also known as commercial feedlots, to amend Article 2, definitions, Article 4, AG District, Article 13, special permits, and Article 22, general provisions. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on Link TV City. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on Link TV and can be viewed on YouTube.
Move we adjourn?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Flowerday.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.